good, people? What's up? What's good? What's up? It is me, L Teddy 27, Angry Teacher Chronicles. Y'all know what we are. Y'all know who we are. And this is going to be our review for the ABC Limited series For Life. And this is episode 4. Now, this entire episode was a flashback. Like, we start off at the beginning with her leaving the jail, leaving the prison, and I believe this is when she left after handing Erin those documents at the end of episode 3. I don't remember. It may or may not have been that time, but she's getting in her car after leaving the prison. And then the rest of the episode, except for the last 15 or 20 seconds, is her, it's just one long flashback. Her, reminiscing about all of, the things that led up to where she is today. So we start off going all the way back when she's at work and one of the doctors writes her a recommendation letter for her to go to nursing school. And she's so grateful and thankful, but then she's still a little apprehensive about it. And we'll talk about that a little later. And then we go to seeing Erin at the signing of the lease for the new club, for this new nightclub, for the nightclub that he was opening, and you see his friends and so forth. Now, when I watched it, I wasn't really paying attention to the friends and whatnot that were there. They were, champagne was, they were, signing it, and champagne was being poured. And there were friends that were there, and those were his boys, but I didn't pay attention to it, and I'm kind of upset because later on, when we get to the trial, those friends are important to the story. And I'm kind of upset that I didn't pay attention to it. But I can say that him and the guys that he went into this venture with, they did seem to be close. Like, he really seemed like these were people that, he grew up with. They were boys. They were business partners. They trusted each other and so forth. So that was that. So the next thing we see, they're at Jasmine's 7th birthday party. Erin's there. Maria's there. Marie's parents are there. Erin's, I think, mom comes through. And Jasmine is turning 7. And we know that in present day, Jasmine is, I believe she's 18. Because I think Erin's been in jail 9 years at this point. Present day, so I think she's 18. But I know at that point he was not in jail yet, and she was turning 7. So everything seemed great. They had a great life. They had a nice house. Erin had a great business with the club and everything. She was working at the hospital, but was contemplating going to nursing school. Their daughter had a beautiful daughter, so everything seemed to be lining up right for her. So then, after their daughter's party, Erin and Marie, they have this conversation about whether or not she should go to nursing school. And they're talking about whether or not she's going to have time to raise her daughter and go to nursing school. And he was like, well, why don't you get a nanny? And, they just have that whole conversation, the whole going to school, raising a child, and still being a part and having a family, and all of that goes into doing that. So, the next thing they show us is at the club. So this is the night where it goes down. Now, we had already seen Erin's recollections of this night. And this is the recollections of that night from Marie's eyes. Marie has no idea what's going on. Like, one moment they're partying, getting it in. Mm-mm-mm. They getting it in. Mm-mm-mm. The best friend Darius is there. Everybody's there. And let me say this. This episode did change a little my viewpoints on the best friend, but we'll get there. So they're in there getting it down at the club party, and next thing you know, the DEA busts in there, and oh yeah, Darius was at the birthday party that they had for Jazz. Darius is there all, and Darius has a girlfriend or whatnot, and so DEA comes in. Aaron's arrested. The other people that work at the club are arrested. His friends and stuff that signed the lease and stuff with him. So that whole thing, Marie doesn't know why he's getting arrested. So then Aaron goes to jail, and we get to see the first time Marie goes to visit him in jail, and you see she really didn't know what to do. She was kind of scared a little bit. The lady next to her had to tell her, squeeze the little cord a little bit, because there's a shortage in that mic. And obviously it was a lady who was an elderly lady, that had been there quite a bit. And I'm glad they showed that, because I think that was an experience that Marie needed to have, because when you see this old lady who knew the ropes, who know all about the jail and stuff like that, it made it seem like she had been doing that for years and years and years and years. And Marie, that was the first sign that was something that she may have to face herself, having to come down here to the prison year after year after year after year. And does she want to end up being like that elderly woman, maybe talking to the next young lady who doesn't know how to work the phone? Like, I think that was strategically placed there, and I like that they did that, because that, me and my brain, that really made me think that perhaps Marie had that image, encapsulated in her brain. And maybe she inevitably said, I don't want to be her. So her and Aaron have the conversation, and Aaron's like, I don't know what's going on. And what I do know is Marie, she even though she didn't know everything that was going on, but Marie knew what Aaron knew. Marie was clear on the things that Aaron knew and the things that Aaron did not know, which is why Marie, even to this day, doesn't let go that, Aaron is innocent. Even though everybody around her keeps saying Aaron's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty, you need to let him go, Marie can't let it go, because she was his wife. That was her husband. She knew that Aaron didn't do this. She knew that, and she was holding on to it then. She's still holding on to it now. And so I like that they gave us these flashbacks, because we needed Marie's side of the story. So we get to see, their conversations, and the fact that he's saying, well, I don't know, my boys, I think one's named Angelo, one's named Mike, or whatever. I think, he told her about a time when Mike sold some drugs to a girl at the club, and told him about it. He flipped out on Mike. And Mike said, oh, it's not a big thing. I was just nickel and diming just to make some money. And he said, he told Mike, don't do that no more. Don't put us in jeopardy, and so forth. And Marie was like, well, why you ain't tell me about that? He was like, because it was just, a quick nickel and dime situation. I just did it one time. And he told him not to do it no more. And so he thought it was done after that. We'll get back to that later. So Marie, at this point, is a single parent. Her husband's in jail. She has a daughter to raise. She has to make ends meet. And so now, because of the legal fees and the monies that she needs in order to raise her daughter, they had taken out a second mortgage on the house to help pay for the club. And those bills were piling up. And so she ended up selling the house. She had to sell the house. Aaron didn't want to sell the house. She had to bring him back down to reality. Boo, you in jail. I gotta sell this house. So she ended up selling their house and getting a different house, and just to try to make ends meet. So then we see it's like a year later almost, because we're at her daughter's 8th birthday party. I think it's her 8th birthday party. Um, 8th birthday party. I think it's her 8th birthday party. Um, 8th birthday party. I think it's her 8th birthday party. 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 And there's this conversation between Darius and Marie. And Darius was there with his girlfriend. And I thought that they were going to show us something like Darius flirting with her. But Darius didn't. I will say Darius kept it cute. He was just being a friend. He talked about, hey, I've been going to see Erin every week because if it was me, I know he would do it for me. And there is this, Darius held Erin down like a best friend should. He made sure he went to the house to make sure his wife was good, his daughter was good. He was going to visit him every week. So from what we have seen from Marie, and this is Marie's vantage point, Darius has been doing the right thing. He's been doing the right thing. Next we see the trial. So at the trial, the two guys that were in the club business with Erin, one of them was the promoter, one was his friend or something like that. The Angelo and Mike guys, they flip. They turn state's evidence. They lie. They make stuff up and they flip against Erin so that they could get off. And they go in there and they testify against Erin and they're putting it all on Erin. They got people testifying that they were allowed in the club by Erin to go buy drugs, all kinds of stuff. People, how the government does. So after that day of trial, the guy who was Erin's friend, when everybody's leaving, Darius and Marie and their parents are there, and Erin's parents are there. And the Darius guy sees the friend Mike that was testifying against Erin. He runs over there. He clocks him, bam, right in the face. And Darius at this point looks like he's doing what he's supposed to do. Darius looked like he is holding Erin down as a best friend should. Being there for him at the trial, holding him down. Darius is making all of the right moves. So I will say that, and remember, all of this is told through Marie's vantage point. I always want to put that out there. So then Erin testifies at the trial. Well, before that, Erin's lawyer did not want Erin to testify. He told him, listen. Erin's lawyer really tries to give Erin some good advice. He tells Erin, listen, they're offering us a plea. You need to take the deal. Erin ain't trying to take no plea because Erin says, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. The lawyer says, listen, I'd have had a whole lot of people innocent and still end up in jail. That's just the way this is. Erin refuses to take the plea because the plea was going to be for 20 years and he could get out perhaps in 9 to 12 years on good behavior. The lawyer tells him that he might want to take it. Erin vehemently says no. Marie's kind of upset with him about that, but it's Erin's decision. Erin also wants to testify, and the attorney says no, doesn't want Erin to testify, but Erin is stubborn. And Erin, that stubbornness is what gets Erin in the predicament that he's in. Erin goes and testifies, and Maskins at that point is an assistant DA. Maskins isn't the DA at that point. Maskins, who's currently the DA, at that time he was an ADA. And Maskins basically masterfully sends Erin up the creek without a paddle, okay? I mean, he let Erin do all of that stuff. Then he had this videotape of Erin going off on the Mike guy. Remember I told you the story that he told Marie? And because he had testified, no, I didn't know drugs were being sold. Drugs never were sold. And then he got Erin to admit that he was yelling at Mike outside of the hospital because Mike had sold that girl them drugs. Come to find out, the girl was underage. And so basically he had lied on the stand. So at that point, once he got Erin to admit he had lied on the stand, it was a done deal for Erin at that point. Erin is convicted on all charges. I think he got life. So then Marie, because they hadn't been taking they hadn't been taking Jasmine to go see her father. So they finally take Jasmine to the jail to go see her father. And we see all of that. And then we get these, all of these scenes of Marie basically coping with being a single mother, raising her daughter on her own, having to go to nursing school and work and, just make do. with, living life with this daughter and, not having her husband. She does end up finishing nursing school. She gets her degree and, she starts working as a nurse at the same hospital where she was working at before. So Marie's father has a long talk with them. They're having a party. I think it's Marie's birthday party. It's either one of Marie's birthday party or it's Jasmine's birthday party. I don't remember. It was a birthday party. But Marie's dad sits down and have a long talk with her. He says, listen, I ain't like Erin in the beginning, but then I did start to like him because he was good. He was a provider. He loved you. He didn't do you wrong, so forth and so on. But he was like, listen, you need to let him go. You need to let him go. Understand that this is a done deal. He ain't getting out. You need to, he was like, he's going to bring you down. Even if he is innocent, he's been convicted. Baby, he's going to bring you down. You need to let this go. But Marie at this point isn't ready to let go. So then Erin calls her because he has this new burner phone that he got. And she's wondering, how the hell did you get a burner phone in jail? What you had to do? Who you let up in your booginas to get this burner phone? Or who booginas you was up in to get this burner phone, child? What drugs you sold to get this burner phone? Who you beat up to get this burner? You got to do something in jail to get a burner phone. Anyway, and so at this point, Erin is already pursuing this law degree and so forth, and she knows about it. And even when her dad had the conversation with her, he was like, you really think that he's going to be able to get a law degree as a convicted fella in jail? And, Marie is holding on to that last glimmer of hope that there's some hope for them. And then after the party, Marie and Darius have a conversation. They talk about the fact that Erin has a burner phone and the fact that Erin, has been in jail for 7 years at that point, and how time flew by. And I think that it kind of clicked after that conversation with her dad. It kind of settled in that once they said, damn, it's been 7 years, I think that's when it just clicked. And it said, damn, this shit is not going to get any better. And the next thing we know, she's at the jail. Erin thinking everything okay, baby. She said, I need a divorce. And Erin tried to talk to her, baby. She said, I'm leaving the forms with the guard. You sign them. I'm out of here. And, Erin's kind of distraught at that point. But it was what it was. And I can't say that I blame her, because I think the combination of her dad talking to her and Darius having that conversation and realizing that 7 years have went by. And I go back to that image of the elderly lady that she saw at the jail the first time she went to the jail. She probably said, I can't end up like that lady. And just something clicked and said, I got to end this now. So then we see it's, I think, like a year before present day, because he's been in jail at that point 8 years. And we know he's been in jail 9 years at this point, present day. So she's at her birthday party. At the end of the birthday party, her and Darius talk, and so she was like, you broke up with your girlfriend? He was like, yeah, it just didn't work out. Marie was like, I liked her for you. So they're cleaning up and everything at the end of the birthday party. And then you see this sexual tension between them. And so Darius was like, you know what? I better go. Because at that point, the way it seemed, and this is coming from Marie's vantage point, remember, this is her vantage point. Darius appears to say, you know what? This is my best friend's ex-wife. I can't do this. And he tries to go home, and she tells him, no, I don't want you to go home. So she initiated them making out. But this is a classic guy move. Guys know if you want to have sex with a girl, if you're a good guy, all you have to do is say, you know what? Let me be a gentleman and not do that. And what is the girl going to do when she wants the D? she's going to make the advance and be like, no, you stay. And then at that point, you have her right where you want, and you can get everything you want out of her. And then you don't seem like a horrible person that initiated it. It makes her feel like she initiated it, even though you kind of manipulated the situation by making her feel like you really were trying to be a gentleman when you really weren't trying to be a gentleman. You just know how to, play those mind games. And I kind of felt like a little bit of that was happening here. But like I said, this happened. We were seeing this through Marie's vantage point, and so that's how that went. Child, they make out and all of that. Next thing we know, we're at the end of the episode, and it's back to present day, and she's in the car. She's finally gotten home from the prison, and she's talking about how her life was so good at first, and then she thought she was lost at one point, and now she just doesn't know up from down, left from right, good from bad. She just doesn't know anymore. And then she looks over at the porch, at the door, and Darius comes out. And he's like, hey, babe, and and it goes off from there. So it was a good episode because it gave us a lot of background information we needed about Marie, and it gave us her vantage point. I'd be curious to see, and I hope they give us Darius's side of the story so we can see his vantage point, because it might be different from what we saw on Marie's vantage point or what we see from Erin's vantage point. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this review. Y'all know we get down in the comment section and argue about what we saw. And we'll be back next week for the next review. Until then, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.